international there, Mona.
The Tom London Show is brought to you by Suzuki Kyalami. There's always someone talking before the show. No matter what I do, I can't get everyone to keep quiet.
The Tom London Show, where 2/3 of the hosts love America.
Hang on.
What's the problem?
Look,
What's the problem?
Are we going to do this on every insert? Because
Do I need to change the voiceover?
I am anti-America.
Oh, are you pro-America now?
I don't know if I'm pro-America, but I don't hate America.
So I need to change
I do love that he's telling Elon Musk that he has to go back to South Africa.
I'm sure you are. Now you're a Trump fan. Now you're a Trump fan.
You see, so you can't say the 2/3.
He won you over. Tonya Curry joins us out of Sodwana Bay this afternoon. Hello to you as you join us on the Tom London Show on the Facebook and YouTube channels. This is an interactive live show. That means your comments are looked at, read, considered. Sometimes we laugh together. Sometimes we cry. I think today we're going to have a good chat. So join us for the next 60 minutes when we chat with our special guest. There in Germiston, there by Germiston up on the hill, there by Primrose where the Zammers are blowing the bloody place up, is the one and only Alistair Jameson.
Don't forget to make it a double.
The only Jameson in Germiston. And our special guest today in studio. You know her because she's been writing messages to me in the comment section. You never answer your phone, Tom London. She's learning. Tonya knows this already. Tanya's had many years of training.
Mona the Mona.
Yeah, Tonya called you Mona the Mona. I said, don't do that. Everyone has been talking about Mona. I said, Mona has to come in. We got to talk to Mona. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mona Minnaar joins us in the studio today. Hello, Mona.
Hi, Tom.
It's good to have you with us.
Absolutely.
I need you close to that mic.
Absolutely.
Uncomfortably close to that mic.
Like this.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Mona is going to join us for the next 60 minutes. We are going to be talking about the one thing that we all have to do at least once in our life, and that is expire. We're going to be talking about death doulas. You like that, Tonya? We're going to be talking about death doulas and end of life and what death doulas do. Mona represents sacreddying.coza, and she will tell us what a death doula does and what Sacred Dying does. And there's some people that may be interested in this and want to get on a course or whatever. And I think we're going to give one course away free on the show today. So one lucky viewer who wants to get into this is going to get a free course. So stay tuned. Stay active. Make sure the comments are coming in the comment section. Any comments you got, any questions you got for Mona, pop it in the comment section. First, though, we have to get some new team news out the way. Did you get the message from Alistair yet, Tonya? About the love,
He has the romance scam.
The love scam, yeah.
That's real.
He sent me
I thought he was
no, it's real. He sent me a message to say there's a love scam. No, someone's trying to scam him out of all his money in a love scam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without going into too much detail, what happened here?
Go into plenty of detail.
Some lady. Okay, go. You don't. All right. What happened?
I was contacted via TikTok.
Yes. Well, then you know it's a serious thing. Yes.
Yeah. Well, this woman wanted to speak to me on my WhatsApp, so I allowed it, and she started telling me that she loved me, she wanted to marry me,
have his babies.
Have my babies, yeah. She wanted to move to South Africa and buy a house.
She wanted, and spend a lot of time in bed with you. You left that out.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's what no, I did it on purpose. I want to keep the thing clean, please.
Okay. Oh, how funny is that?
She told me that her parents were died in COVID.
Of course.
That her father had left her a house.
That was many millions.
She'd recently sold it for $500,000.
There we go.
And that she wanted to buy a house in Cape Town, and she was going to send me 3 million.
What were you saying?
Go and buy the house.
What were you saying in all of this?
Yeah, I'm interested to hear. What was your response, Al?
My responses were all very, very monosyllabic. tell me more, or
You know why?
how
Do you know
things
why?
go.
Do you know why? You know why. He was
Why?
monosyllabic because he was trying to figure out if it was real or not, and he wasn't going to commit to full sentences until he knew.
Yeah. Very good.
I
Because
can,
you see, Tom, fortunately, I have a banking background where I was in the fraud department, and I know what these people do.
you see, she or he or whatever, probably some pimply-faced teenager somewhere.
It is sitting
Yeah.
in some alter
so
Hebrides.
here's the best, Tonya. The lady who wants Alistair to be the love of her life's bank manager calls Alistair today.
Oh,
She's got to organize the transfer of the 10 million bucks, yes.
He's about to transfer this 3 million rand,
Yeah.
but then he says,
Just needs a little bit to
in order for me
activate the
to put it
account.
through,
Yes,
the
of course.
transaction has failed. In order for me to put it through, I need you to go to Pick and Pay or Spar or Shoprite
Local scam, yes.
and then
and buy an iTunes card.
There we go.
And
And
send
then-
me the PIN number of that card, the reference number on that card, and then we can process the 3 million rand.
Wow.
Hello, do you think I'm that stupid?
Wow. So they're
Well,
using
that's
iTunes
this is interesting.
as a
like,
money laundering.
that's what I was about
Wow.
to say. That's
Gee
so
whiz.
interesting. So, how much is an iTunes card?
Now,
Is
how
it
much
free?
to get this the 10 million
like
bucks? How
Vodafone.
much did you have to give them?
450 rand card.
They knew they're going primrose here.
cheap,
Like,
mate.
no, well, this Germiston, you can't go Santon rates. It's East Rand rates. You got to bring the price down. Same for everything. Everything's cheaper on the East Rand.
$50. I thought they were going to offer
I would have taken the chance. You never know.
and then I really would have sent it to them. so.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's Alistair's
Wow.
news today. He almost, it was Schrodinger's cat in the box until it revealed itself. It was either going to be great love or it wasn't. Turned out it wasn't.
Yeah, great love on TikTok. I'm going to say no.
I don't think you're going to find love on TikTok. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see who's on board. Helen Mitbach says, hello, everybody. By the way, Helen became a granny last week. Hip, hip, hooray, Helen. She's in full-on granny mode now. Nikki Hart, hiya all. Happy Tuesday. Gail Mortensen says, how's it, everybody? Kurt Overton says, the best show ever. Kurt, I can't thank you enough for a compliment like that. And the reason I
Thank
say
you,
that
Kurt.
is I'm very critical of my own content. But this show got something. Of all the shows I've done over the last 10 years online, this is the one I look at and I tell Tonya, listen, this show's a good show. And I think it is. And not just because of me. I think it's because of the team and the energy and the magic and the community and the comments and the people and the care. I think it's that. And the craziness. That helps. Charmaine Ninaba says, good afternoon, dysfunctionals. Talking of craziness.
There we go.
Geez, Tom, what's with the hair today? I washed it. I hope that's a compliment. I washed it. Ansi Berger, hi all. I was thinking the same about the hair. What's my hair got to do with anything? Heather Knickelbein says, good afternoon to the dysfunctional team this afternoon and the special guest. Nathan Rayberg joins us on YouTube and says, hi. Hi, Nathan. Marlene Falkenberg says, hi, everyone. Margaret Guider says, hello, everybody. Who else is on board here today? Lizelle Lucinda Elliott, the Eternal Tarot, joins us out of some exotic location. Oh, Alistair, for Pete's sake, she says. Anita Mainhardt, Anita number one. Tonya, do you do the show from home or work?
Both.
Tonya works from home.
I work from home.
She's like the US president. She works from home, and most Greek cafe owners. Are there any left? Marlene Falkenberg, what a scammer. Oh, you have been thought of as a sugar daddy. What are you hiding, Alistair? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. What is he hiding?
What is he?
Do you think he told us the
hiding?
whole story? Did you take any? Did you send any
No.
pictures? Did you? Be honest.
I did not send any pictures, but she did.
Boy,
She sent pictures.
See, that's how they hooked him. Home is work for Tonya, says Helen. Emily Hudson says, hi, beautiful people. Welcome, Mona. I will watch later as I'm off to find a water tanker. We are off from the 30th to the 10th of July if we are lucky. That's Joburg. A lot of suburbs going to be off.
Yeah.
Long time.
Crazy.
See you later tonight to play catch up, Emily says. Baby hearts to you all. Love you madly. Pat Sunkel's on board.
Hearts.
Mandy Wilson says, hi, Mona. Thank you for helping families during their most difficult life journeys. We lost my mom-in-law on Friday, and as a family are understandably devastated. To have a helping hand during devastating times is like a warm angel hug. So the messages are already coming in for you.
Beautiful.
Right. Rosie Brown. I've got to say, it's such a South African thing. We've got to say hello to everybody. Rosie Brown's on board. Who else is on board? Leslie Hitchcock. Karen Atwell from Houston, Texas joins us. Moira Ann Blade says she's missed a few shows due to illness. She's glad you're feeling better and you're back with us, Moira. Una, are you on board? Says Helen. Yeah, where are the guiders? We need
Where are the guiders? Okay.
Going. All right. So when Mona got hold of me, she sent me a message and said, I'm a death doula. And I went, I have no cooking clue what a death doula is. So when I don't know about something, that's when I get interested. Like, I got to know about this. I want to know. I think all three of us have got curious minds. But my curious mind said, hey, we need to get Mona in. So and Mona said, great, I'll come to your studio, which I think I explained is my lounge. And so this is the first day where we've actually got someone in the studio sitting in a chair in front of a microphone with us on the show. So we're testing it all out.
Nice.
Mona's our guinea pig.
Thank you.
And Mona, it's so nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. It really is lovely. We had an hour before the show where we've been laughing and joking and telling all sorts of stories.
Amazing.
And it's in fact, we did a whole show between ourselves before we even did the show. so
Got it. I missed.
well, we're going to
man.
do it all again now. And
Okay,
so
good.
yes, if you read the description in the video, or you're wondering what we're talking about today, we're talking about end of life. And we're talking about people who will come along and assist you in every single way. We'll get into that. We'll get into the whole discussion in just a moment. Perhaps you've got a question. Perhaps you've got a comment. Perhaps you've got an experience that you want to type into the comment section, something you want to ask Mona. Put it in the comment section and I'll make sure I read it out. Now, before the show, you know who I was with just 2 hours ago? I was sitting with Greg from Suzuki Kyalami. We were having coffee at Missouri Coffee down the road from my house. And Greg came all the way here to ask me what Suzuki Kyalami and Suzuki Rivonia can do for Jenna Lee when she comes up for her operation. Isn't that nice?
That amazing?
He took 2 hours out of his day, drove from Rivonia to Velterfreden Park. We went for coffee, and he said, what can we do? And I put him on the phone with Jennifer, and they had a chat, and we're trying to think of something nice that anyway, look, they're giving us a Suzuki Swift for the entire duration of Jenna Lee's time in Pretoria. So I'll be able to take Jennifer to the hospital and back. I'll be able to pick them up from the airport. And by the way, I think on Thursday we need to start getting an idea going if a couple of people could join me at the airport and we welcome them like a welcoming committee.
I'll be there.
Alistair will be there. So that would be nice if we can get that going. We'll talk about it on Thursday. But I was with Greg a little earlier on. It was so nice of him to say, Tom, we'll take a car. We'll also pay for petrol, and we'd like to do a little more. So thank you very much to Greg van Kerkhoven and the Van Kerkhoven family at Suzuki Rivonia and Suzuki Kyalami.
Aren't they great people?
Wonderful people. And he said you're going to buy a car from him soon, and I'll be driving it down to Sodwana.
I did. Oh, are you driving it down?
Well, I said I suppose I'd have to drive it down and make a video.
That sounds like a plan, Stan.
Right. So that's what I've been up to, and so nice to know that Suzuki Kyalami and Suzuki Rivonia are on board. And for that reason, I'd like to take you off to the shop for just 45 seconds and meet their latest member in the team. And when I say team, I'm talking about a team of people who really care. And I'm so lucky to have a sponsor like this, because I can say without any fear that these people care about their staff, care about their customers, just care. And Michael van der Merwe, the latest member of staff at Suzuki Kyalami, you can see it in his eyes. Take a look. Meet the latest member at Suzuki Kyalami.
Good day, I'm Michael. I'm a sales exec at Suzuki Kyalami. At Suzuki Kyalami, we have a floor jam-packed full of Suzuki models for you to test drive and view. Buying a car is one of the most important decisions you'll make in your life. That's why I'm here, to make sure you get the right advice. the right car, and the right deal.
Stand by.
No, thank you.
So come see me at Suzuki Kailami. Let's get you into a new Suzuki and become part of the home of happy customers.
The Tom London Show is brought to you by Suzuki Kailami. Thank you to our sponsors for making this happen. Right, let's get into the discussion.
Don't forget to tell them Tom sent you.
Don't forget to tell them Tom said thank you, Alistair. Right. You know, the only problem is I don't turn my WhatsApp notifications off when I put Tanya on my
so
phone.
you got things coming.
And
You've got things coming through your phone.
a lady just messaged me, and I don't know what the message said,
Oh,
but
a
I got it off the screen fast.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Does she love you? Does she want to marry you?
apparently
Does she want
her mom
you
and
to
dad
buy
died
an
during
iTunes
COVID.
card?
Yeah, no, her mom and dad died during COVID, and she's got $10 million, and all I have to do is buy an iTunes card. It's simple.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's get to the chat that we're here for today, and talk about what a death doula is. I mean, that's probably my first question. However, Mona said she wanted to start this chat off with a question of her own. And this question is for you, Tanya, it's for you, Alistair, and it's for you as you watch the show. You can answer the question.
Tom.
Okay, and for me. All right. So why don't you go ahead and why don't we kick this interview off? Instead of me asking the first question, you ask the first question.
I want to know that if there was one thing, only one thing,
Yeah.
that you could take from this life when you die,
Yes.
what would that one thing be? Only one choice.
No, that's a hectic question.
Oh.
Hey?
That's a hard question.
We're all going
That's
to go
a
that
hectic
way,
question.
so
Yeah.
we're going to be all getting out here the same way. So it's a good thing to think about. What is the one thing you would want to have?
Would that be the thing that means the most to you, or what? I really battle with that question.
Tom's would be a supply of milkshakes.
You think so? Crispy waffles. I'll take crispy waffles.
Crispy
I'll take my
waffles.
ex-mother-in-law with me. That's what I'll do. Yeah. But it is. But all jokes aside, it's such a tough question. When you ask that question, and I'm sure it's not the first time you've asked it, do you get the same response as I gave you, or do people know? Do some people know immediately?
We hear a whole lot of different stories. Some people don't want to take it in a serious manner, so they'll come up with something crazy like a milkshake or waffles or whatever.
Like Tanya did.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you think about it long enough, it's a deep question.
Yeah.
And when we are dealing with death, it's your last chance to get things right. So that is why I say, what would that one thing be?
I think it would be my pet ringneck, Jamie. Not Billy, because he's just a nasty bird.
That's so mean.
No, I'm joking. I don't know. I said to Mona when she asked.
You're so mean to
I'm
Billy.
only joking. I said to Mona when we started chatting and she asked me the question, I'm really going to have trouble coming up with an answer, and it's going to sit in my head until it comes to
Well,
me.
I mean, like you could come up with clever answers, like
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that
I bring my cell phone.
Isn't that the
and I'd be able
most
to still
serious
speak
question?
to everybody, and
Cell phone.
That
yes,
comes up a
we
lot,
get cell
apparently.
phone.
You get that?
We get that because
well, then at least you'd be able to talk to all the people
Well,
that are
you can
still
still
here.
watch TikTok videos on the other side.
Still watch
Alistair.
TikTok. I could still work.
Alistair be on the other side
You know?
and getting scammed from people out of call centers in the Asian
Yeah, look,
continent.
there's that. There's
That's why I
that.
leave my phone behind.
Yeah.
Okay, the
If I
choice-
could take an experience,
There
I would
we
take
go.
diving with
That's a good
me.
one. Okay.
There we
That's
go.
allowed. Yes, you can take
Is
diving.
that
with you.
allowed?
It's allowed.
Can I take diving with me? I'm
Absolutely.
taking diving with me.
All right, Tanya sorted out. Alistair?
I take my camera with me.
Oh, wow.
But
Why?
what if it's
Well,
you're
like
in the
pictures and-
grave only?
Has your camera got pictures on it? Is
No,
that why you want to take it with?
No, I want to take pictures and send them back to the people I left behind.
I'm not sure it
Yeah,
works.
but it doesn't work like that. That's a cell phone then.
Not sure
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
web
it won't.
goes that far yet. Once Elon Musk has got Starlink going properly.
Canon has not done that well, I'm afraid.
All right, so you take a camera. That's interesting.
So the experience of photography
you know
is
what?
actually
I'm going
what
to be
Alistair's taking.
Yeah, I'm going to be airy-fairy
Yeah.
about this. I'm going to be airy-fairy because I can't think of an item and I can't think of any living thing that I'd want to take away from this planet.
Microphone, mate.
No.
You need a microphone down there.
No, I know what I would take. I would take love with me. I'd take the feeling of love. That's what I would take.
Look at you.
I would. I seriously wouldn't.
That's not like, but okay,
That's the best
can you do
feeling in the
that?
world.
Well, then all of us are
That's
gonna
and when
take
you
love,
win the
obviously.
lotto. Sorry? I would take love. What would you take, Mona?
I would take all the experiences and the wisdom.
You
the
take your hard
knowledge.
drive with you. You take
Yes,
the
my
hard drive that's in
drive.
your head.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Because then I don't have to go through all that crap again. You know,
And
come
you
back the
and
next
you'll
time.
know who you are. Alistair will be taking pictures, not even knowing who he is, because he forgot to take his mind with him. You see. And Tanya, what she was.
That goes with you automatically.
I'm
doesn't it?
taking I'm
You're
taking
taking
diving
diving.
with me, but
There we go.
but if we are if we are being serious, I'll take
Yeah.
my holy book with me,
Okay.
and
Got
like
it.
so that I can just like make it up for the other side. Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
just
When
to
you
be
can make
sure.
it-
We'll get to the answers in the comment section in just a moment. So, what would you take with you to the afterlife? What would you take with you? Put in the comment section down below. Serious question. What is a death doula?
A death doula is somebody who serves. Doula is a Greek word, and
It's for a women who serves. Is that correct? See, I've done my research. It's a
yes,
feminine.
a woman
right?
who serves. But I've actually got some male doulas as well
Yes.
that have done the course, so it's not just women.
Okay. That serves what?
We serve the dying. Dying is such a underrated thing. People don't like talking about this.
Sure.
Because we might catch it. You know, if you drive past
Exactly.
an accident and there's dead people, you say, oh,
Yeah.
thank God it wasn't
Yeah.
me. So we've got that mentality.
That it's not going to be interesting. Or look
I
what
wanna
fun we've
talk
had
about
already.
it, yeah.
Okay. So
I have a question.
yes.
Who's better at being a death doula, a male or a female?
It doesn't make any difference if you're male or female.
It's a very
You know,
Alistair. It's a very
Mona,
Alistair
welcome.
question.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Mona.
Alistair
This is what we
sees
call
things
an Alistairism.
Negative, positive, left, right. Alistair's very straight and.
But I'm going to answer Alistair now. as
Here we
well.
go, Alistair.
The person who would be a death doula or phone me and they say, I want to be a death doula. Not everybody has that notion that they want to be a death doula.
Yes.
And to be a death doula, you have to have deep compassion and empathy.
So that would leave 4 of my 5 ex-girlfriends and half the doctors in South Africa.
I think more like 3/4 of the doctors.
Yeah, maybe. Empathy, eh?
Empathy. Non-judgmental. You know, we are inclined, it's a human thing to judge people. So
Yes.
say, for example,
Yes.
subconsciously you're in a supermarket and you see somebody that looked like a teacher that you had in primary school,
Yes.
who always put red lines through your page or whatever, and immediately you decide, I don't like that person.
Yeah.
And you don't,
Don't even know them. Well, look at me. Last week I was walking to Devon Valley Shopping Centre. My back seized up and I had to hang on to the pole. And people thought I was an alcoholic waiting for the
we
bottle
go.
store to open.
There we go.
So, all right. So we're going to talk about what kind of assistance you give in just a moment. Because I understand this right. You're there to serve the person whose life is ending. But what that means, I'm sure, is intricate and multifaceted, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's get to the comments and see what people would take with them, shall we? There's a lot coming in here.
Good.
Right, Lizelle, who is one of the top tarot card readers in the world, she's got a. I don't even know if I can say what she's busy up to, but big things, huge. She's huge. The Eternal Tarot says 0 regret. That's what she'd take with. Helen Mitfach says, very hard question. Anita says, photos of my family. Margaret says, my soul, please, Mona, if that makes sense. Does it?
Does.
And when people are coming to the end of their life, Does that come into the discussion? Do you have conversations about that, about the soul?
A death doula isn't. We can't go in with perceived ideas. You know,
Sure.
Christianity has got such a wide range. Some people believe in this, and other people believe in whatever. So we do take care of the person mentally, spiritually, and physically. But if they wanted guidance, we would say to them, can I ask your family to organize that the priest or someone, because
it's a personal thing then, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think some people, if you put your, I'm just going to share something.
Sure.
When my mom was dying, I had a lady who was a born-again Christian.
Yes.
My mom was Catholic for as long as I can remember. And I had, what do you call those things, a security camera with audio.
Yes.
And I heard this woman asking my mother if she had accepted Jesus as a savior. Because if she hadn't, she's not going to go to heaven.
Oh, a lady came to her. and
No,
told-
it was her caregiver that was telling
oh,
me
is
that.
it? Oh, wow.
And I overheard it. And I flew in there and I pulled her out and I said, don't you ever talk to my
So
mother
that's
like that.
something a death doula would not do.
No.
Okay, that puts things into perspective. Okay. Thank you, by the way, if you've pressed the like, the heart, the ha-ha, the wow, the crying, or the angry button. You are friends and family. If you haven't pressed it, we don't love you just as much. In order to do that, you need to druk the knoppie poppy. Pat would take memories and no regrets. Anita would take Snickers for Tom. Thanks, Anita.
She's precious.
Moira would take her shoes. Shoes are important to some people. Some people.
I know,
But
she's
that
important
is
to a lot of
interesting.
people.
Well, tell me why it's interesting.
Because when you drive past an accident scene, I cannot understand
The
why
shoes fly
people
off.
have got no shoes on.
I can explain that because I
These
wondered the
shoes are
same.
always
So I
lying.
know. I've seen it many times and wondered myself how come their tackies, which were laced on,
Are off.
it's just it's like if you swing a golf club, the club is swinging faster. That's your feet. So just gravity whips the shoes off, and off they go in their own direction.
Crazy.
So even if you did want to take your shoes off with you, you couldn't. Sorry.
Well, it
guys.
depends. If you get hit by a bus, your shoes aren't going with you, Moira. Sorry. Marlene Falkenberg says memories. At least it won't get stolen.
Nice.
Love and peace in my heart is what Rosie. That's me. You see, that's what
Amazing.
Rosie would take. Soraya Lara says, "Afternoon, everybody. Good to see you three. Thank you, Soraya." Margaret Guider says, "I would like to take love and peace with me, and know I've made it right with all." That's lovely. Oh, here's a new
That's
name,
cool.
Sylvia. Ronald says, "Is it Sylvia? I'd take a few cats." There has to
one.
be a cat.
Only
You could
one.
take one, your favorite cat, and we know you have a favorite cat.
Thank you very much.
We know that. We know you've got. I've been around Tanya. I see they've got favorites.
No, I don't have favorite cats. The cats have favorite.
Okay.
Very
yes.
different conversation.
Mary Nicole Shellen would take all her children. You can only take one, so it would have to be your favorite
Only take
child.
one.
Yes.
And you leave the others behind. Right.
Is that something like
That's right.
instead of a new TV show, All My Children?
Yes, it does. Thank you, Alistair, for that contribution. The double drum roll. Come on, Daryl. He's on fire today with the Alistairisms. Okay. My hair extension, says Hillary Carty. We do not judge. Not on
Do not
Tuesdays.
judge.
No. Heather Knickelbein says, "I'm a retired nursing sister. I had the privilege of caring for 5 of my family and in-laws, and the last was my hubby. So I'm ready to go join them as I miss them so much. I would take my peace with me as I was able to look after the family." Do you find that there's a home? It's so easy to assume and presume if you don't have the experience. I would assume from my experiences that there's a homecoming taking place, but that might not be the case for everybody.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is. A lot of people that are in the stages of dying would say, "Oh, I'm ready to go home." Many people say that. So
Yeah. What assistance do you give?
the most important thing that we do is train people how to take care of their loved ones that are at home. If you're in hospital, it's a different scenario.
Yes.
Because they will keep you alive at any cost.
As long as possible.
Absolutely.
Keep the bills going.
So
Yes.
even though you're dying and you might get an infection, they will give you antibiotics. What?
Well, I watched doctors try and resuscitate a terminal patient for an hour, which was just the most obscene thing.
Ridiculous.
And that's another
ever seen.
important thing that we do as well, is we help people draw up an advance directive, which is very much like a living will.
So when I first heard death doula, I thought, woo, airy fairy. But now there's a lot of practical coming out. Do you find yourself dealing with the person's practical realities? I remember years back, my grandfather was terminally ill, and he was doing things like decluttering the house so my grandmother didn't have to worry about that. And he was doing things like moving some of his investments from there to make it easier. He did an incredible job for the family. When he died, there wasn't a lot of trauma around how to fix this, how to sell that, and do you help people with that?
Yes, we do. That's what we call a legacy. So, say for example, there's a young mom, 2, 3, 4-year-old children, and she's been diagnosed with terminal cancer or whatever.
Sure.
She knows she's not going to be around when her children grow up. So we will go and sit with her, go through photos, take stickers and nice coloured gel pens and stuff like that, and a little journal that she can write her thoughts.
Very practical stuff.
Yes,
Moira.
it is practical.
I mean, Mona.
It is practical. It's things.
And I suppose that's what. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm just thinking from the side of the family, especially when there's a bit of trauma or tragedy involved. It's easy to go into a spin and not be practical. Just really battle to deal with the reality of watching someone go. Do you find that families they need that practical advice?
I think more than anything, that the family would know that I've done as much, or we have done as much as what we could, as if the doula teaches them how to keep the loved one in a situation that their dignity is intact.
Does this involve medical advice
Nothing.
or palliative care advice?
Nothing. We are not palliative caregivers.
So you're dealing with the person's general
Like we
well-being.
sit in here. Like we sit in here.
Like a friend,
Absolutely.
You're a friend.
You don't
a well-equipped friend.
you don't see the person who is dying as death.
I don't know if I've
Until
got.
their last breath, they are still alive, and we will honor that.
I don't know if I've got this right. Maybe I'm getting closer. You go along as a death doula. You may be the only person in that person's life
Sometimes.
who is okay with them going on that journey. You don't have the fear the family's got. You haven't got the 50 years association, whatever. You're able to help them. And you might be the only person who can help them, that they don't feel guilty, or they don't, because I'm sure guilt must come into this. And I've known and seen people who don't want to burden their family.
Something that people don't realize or understand is that the dying person is grieving. It's
Yes.
anticipatory
Their own
grief.
life, yes.
They're grieving what they're going to leave behind. And the family are in a state of anticipatory grief because they know
Yes.
that death is coming, but they don't know when.
Wow.
So there's a lot
Wow.
of that type of energy around.
So what is it that you bring? Is it calmness? Is it rationality?
We help the family to set up a sacred space. By sacred,
Nice.
I would mean declutter the bedroom. You know, if the person was lying in a double bed or whatever, maybe bring a single bed in for them. Declutter, see that there's enough light coming in, bring some of the
Make it
pictures.
pleasant.
Yeah, the pictures that they like, the flowers that they like, you can put them on a table and let them feel that life.
And
is
how do
still
you
carrying
start
on.
these? Who do you start the conversations with? The person who is dying, or the family, or
Normally the family. In a situation like that, if the husband was the one that was dying, the wife would be the primary caregiver.
Yes.
So that is the one that you would go to help them to bring normality.
So you'd start with the wife.
Yes. Or if it was the other way around, we would speak to the husband.
Sure.
So it'll be the primary caregiver.
Sure.
That's,
And then do you extend from there? Then you.
yes.
And how what kind of format does this take? Is this you go along for an hour or you
There's no format really, because every situation is unique. Each person that you deal with is unique. So you can't say, because I've been at the bedside of 10 people that are dying, that it's going to be the same every time.
Sure.
So yeah, it's the uniqueness of that person preparing to leave this life. And
how many people have you helped?
think about 10.
Oh, wow.
And
what is
out of the 10, 2 of them were my sisters that died of cancer.
What has this done to you or for you?
It's a difficult question. I'm going to answer it.
I owe you one difficult
Yeah,
question.
I'm going to answer it a little bit
Sure.
off for the time being. When my brother-in-law died, his daughter and I were standing outside, and she said to me, "Why don't I become a death doula?" I woke up that morning, I said to my husband, "We've got to get to Muldersdrift."
Yeah.
And when we got there, we managed to, there was a caregiver, but she was absolutely useless. When I walked in, she was dressed in jeans and that, and I said to her, "Where's your uniform?" If
You're old school, huh?
that must be. You know, if I'm going to dress like a hippie and go in all flamboyant and whatever, it's taking the sacredness out of it. So what I say to the death doulas as well, see that you have got a consecrated outfit that you will only visit the dying with.
That's interesting.
Because
Wow.
then when you put that on, it just seems like you cloak yourself with the compassion that you have.
Is that the answer to my question? That you're able to generate compassion or
Yes.
you've learned to?
Yes. It was strange. Okay, after talking to the daughter, I went home, like you, I don't know
Yeah.
what a death doula is. And I Googled and Googled, and Google only took me to America and Canada and whatever. So I did 2 courses. And about 2 weeks after that, I thought, what do I do now? I'm a death doula. What must I do? And I got this little message that you are going to write a course for South Africans.
Which you've done.
Yes, I've done it.
Now, some people would look at this without, if someone wasn't listening to this conversation, just saw it. Some people may go, "Oh, how depressing! What a depressing thing to have to do."
Is it depressing when a baby is born?
No,
So why should it be depressing when somebody is going to be reborn back into the spirit?
because they're gone from us.
But we came from there. All of us came from there.
I get that. I
So-
do get that.
So it's just such an amazing thing to do.
Do you think some people are drawn to this? And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I've experienced people dying many times, not just once or twice, but many. I've held the hands of dying, and dying children even. I think children, the one caveat in all of this that bites, it hurts.
It does hurt.
But I've never run away from the process. Now I have friends or family who behave completely differently. They run a mile. Don't blame them. But I even want to use the word strangely gravitate towards this. Is that morbid?
No, it's not more.
Am I sick?
No, you're not sick. Maybe you just have a memory of experiencing death differently that you want to assist people. You don't have to do the course to do that. But to understand the process of dying,
Yeah.
you can, from 2 weeks, already. You can sort of see.
Track it, yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
2
for sure.
weeks and
Yeah.
now it's 3 days and 2 days, because as the body shuts
You got
down,
the signs
you
and
see
the
all the
symptoms,
signs and that, yeah. But maybe you should look into it.
Sure. So you, is it largely conversations that you have?
Not always.
Not?
No. Not always. Sometimes people don't want to talk because it's too emotional. So we will just sit there and hold their hand.
Wow.
Or we will read if they want us to read for them, or read out
Oh,
the
wow.
Bible. But we won't pray with them.
You don't get involved in their spiritual business.
No.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I find that incredible.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's their business. Okay.
It's too.
What would you say to
it's
someone
too-
like Alistair? Alistair, I think you like my dad, Alistair. You believe that when it's the end, lights out and goners and there's nothing, or do you believe in it? Eh? You believe that?
I don't believe that we're here now for the journey. When it ends, it ends. From dust we came, and to dust we return.
What do you do with a difficult case like Alistair?
It's not a difficult case. It's just his way of seeing
It's
it.
still the same. So if you say, "Oh, I got no beliefs," and you can still give the same
And
help.
You can believe that you're going to see this bright tunnel and
Sure.
be drawn into the light or whatever. That's fine. If it comforts you, that's fine.
What-
If it comforts Alistair, what he thinks, dust to dust, it's fine. There is no.
I get it. Does that
right
bring
or
you
wrong.
comfort, by the way, Alistair?
Like she said, like Mona said now, there's no right or wrong way.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is that thought. Does it bring you comfort?
What? That there's
to
nothing at the
dust.
end, and I'm
Yes. Is it you don't have to worry about that, so you're comforted by that thought. So how does that work?
For me, that gives me comfort. I mean, I know
It's strange.
that
I
when
couldn't.
die,
Yeah.
everything-
Okay. Yeah.
Everything returns to dust. You came from the dust, and you go back to the
Well, I
dust. There's
find
no-
that fascinating that actually comforts him, because I'm the opposite, right? So I wouldn't understand how that can, but I find it fascinating. That's interesting.
And it's fine. It's
Yes.
fine. There is no.
So that's what I'm getting here. There's very little judgment in your world.
There can't be. There can't be, because the main duty of the death doula, as I say, is to keep her patient, who is the dying person,
And serve that
comfortable
person.
and clean. You advocate for them.
Okay.
So you can, it's maybe a month before the person dies, you will get to know
Yes.
them well, and you will get to know the family well. Now, I'm going to tell you another story. My husband's probably going to be angry. My mom-in-law was very, very sick. She was in her 90s, and
Yes.
they discharged her from hospital. We had to get what are those machines that you, with the oxygen?
The ventilators?
No,
Or the
the oxygen machine.
Okay,
Because her
yes.
oxygen level was
Okay.
very low. But when she left the hospital, she said that I want to go home with Vic. She didn't want to go back with her daughter.
Sure.
And I just knew that things were not going to end the way the family expected.
Because she knew where she was going. She was busy choosing the right. Okay.
And she was with us for 3 days. And that night, the last night, I said to her, can I lie on the floor? And I brought a mattress and lay on the floor next to her, held her hand and whatever. And the next morning, I felt on her pulse, and it was just like a quick...
Yeah.
It stopped. There was no heavy breathing or mouth open.
Chainstroke breathing
it
or
was,
whatever,
she
yeah.
was just so peaceful and so comfortable when she passed.
What we all wish for.
But my husband said to her, if you want to go back to hospital, you tell me and I will
Sure.
take you back.
No,
And she didn't want to.
Well, you see, I remember reading Conversations with God 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
There was something in that book that spoke about sometimes the dying will hold on for that family member
Yes.
to come on that flight, and as they get into that hospital and say, I'm here,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
end.
it.
Sometimes they will wait for their daughter or their son to leave the room.
Yeah.
And just go to the loo, and that's when they'll go.
Yeah.
Do you think there's from your experience? I don't know. Is there some level of choice as we go, or do you think we're on the ride and that's it, or do you think there's some choice?
I think there is some choice.
What-
You know, when we were talking earlier on as well, I believe that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience.
Yes.
So before we were in this body, the main thing is that we were part of the all that is.
Yeah, we came from
out there.
somewhere. Yeah.
So irrespective, you're going to go back to where you came from.
Got it. Okay, let's get to the comments section, shall we, and see what you've got to say. What a fascinating conversation today. And just a question. I mean, this is the first time we've got someone in the studio. We're having a face-to-face interview. Do you like this format? Would you like to see more people coming along to my lounge and chatting with us on the Tom London Show? Let me know in the comments section. Margaret Guider says, an interesting point, Mona, the grieving of the dying person. Mandy Wilson says a death doula will also give the dying person a sense of normality, and I mean this in the sense that they will probably be the only person that doesn't look at the dying person like they are dying. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You treat that person as a living person until they take their last breath.
Mandy goes on to say that family can't help but have pain in their eyes. I think that's what I was trying to get to earlier. Well done, Mandy, just for distilling that. What would you do if a dying person has no one by their side? Have you ever encountered that?
I haven't, but some of the doulas that I have trained have encountered it. It's difficult.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's difficult because there is no, I always say to people, there is never a place that you can go for assistance. So if you say that person is on their own, you find out, did they go to church? If so, what is their faith community?
And
Can
start
you make-
looking for people. Okay.
So we will look to
You'll
see
actually
where
try
we
and
can get-
rectify that situation.
Yes, and also
Wow.
maybe in the neighborhood. They've lived in the same place for 15 years. The neighbors must know them.
People will, good hearts will chip in.
We can get people in to assist.
Okay. Margaret Guider says, I like that, Mona. Everyone is unique and needs to be treated differently. Edward Sayers says, disagree with that comment. How you dress is unimportant.
I don't agree with what he's saying.
Well, hold on. Edward is saying how you dress is unimportant. Okay, well, you're free to disagree. And the nice thing about the show is, even if you disagree, you don't have to go away. It's not like it's not like Fox Broadcasting. If you're not right, you must go and watch CNN or
I
something.
want to
You can
ask.
still watch the show.
I want to ask Edward
Yes.
if he was lying in a bed dying and a 67-year-old death doula came dressed in stiletto heels and fishnet stockings and a miniskirt and afro hairstyle.
probably-
You never know. Edward might just leap up out of bed.
just love that.
I find something to... Oh, I don't think so. But anyway, Margaret Guider says, with respect, Mona, I would like to ask if you believe in reincarnation.
I do.
Do all death
Absolutely.
doulas believe in reincarnation, or it's just to you?
No.
Okay.
That's a personal thing.
Got it.
Before I became a death doula, I was involved in Reiki, reflexology,
Yeah.
crystal therapy, color therapy, and I used
Okay,
to
so
do
you've done a lot around the spirituality
and
space.
working with people on an energetic level, I have often seen guides that come and stand next to the bed, or you feel a presence
Something.
of So I believe that we do come back more than
On
once.
that point, Anita Maynard says, very interesting topic. Death absolutely scares the out of me.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Oh,
Out of all of us.
I'm sorry.
Right? But
no,
we
not
were
me.
we were having this conversation before we started the show, and I was relating my experience where I was dying, and I saw my late mom and grandpa, and they asked me if I wanted to go, and I said no, and I'm still here. I do not have the fear that Anita's talking about now.
Me too.
I don't have it
I
now.
don't
I had it before, but when I was on that tipping point, either way didn't feel bad. It was just a logical choice. Are you done or you're not done? And I went, I'm not done, and the seesaw went that way. But whether it went left or right wasn't going to affect my state of mind or my feelings at all.
I think that fear, it is not about dying, it's about how am I going to die. I don't want
Yes.
to know that I'm going to be
Correct.
killed in a car accident or whatever.
Yes.
because you
or
would
something
absolutely
terribly degenerative.
every day you would
Yeah.
think is today the day, so it's good that we don't know
Exactly.
those things.
Thank God we don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Tanya, have you got a question?
No, I was agreeing wholeheartedly. It's not dying per se. It's the fear of how you die. That's
And
where the fear lies.
even that I used to have that in my head. I don't know how to describe not being able to breathe. I mean, it's terrifying. But once you pass that point of terrifying, it's not terrifying anymore. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like it feels like I've jumped over 2 hurdles that I shouldn't have. And I'm okay. I reversed back over them, but I already know what those hurdles are, and so that gives me some peace. Maybe I'm mad.
I can understand what you're saying, because I also had a near-death experience after my neck op. And
I never thought I would say I've had a near-death experience. Did you ever think that you would ever have a near-death experience?
But when I had it, I knew what was happening.
Do you have that fear now?
No fear at all.
Okay.
Alistair,
Sorry, go
Tom,
ahead.
May I?
Of course.
So Mona, like when you had that neck op, was there a risk that you were,
Absolutely.
I don't know, maybe not going to be able to walk again?
I had to sign a document in the surgeon's office that there was a risk of stroke, cardiac arrest, and death.
Okay.
So the whole operation, I mean, it was hectic, because they were working on the spine, and if they buggered up, and I died, that was it, because I agreed to have the operation.
Yes, so, like for me, I feel very sorry for people who have a drawn-out death. And when I say a drawn-out death, not necessarily talking about cancer patients. I'm talking about every day a little bit of you dies.
Can I jump in, Tanya? Because we were having this exact conversation before we went on air today, where I spoke about the grotesque nature of some people's end, where they lie in a bed and slowly, instead of the peaceful passing that Mona talks about, it becomes more grotesque and traumatic. The face, the look of it, the sound of it. And what I wanted to know from Mona, and I asked her earlier, was, do you think that the person who is going through all of that is feeling what you think they are feeling?
Not always. As I say, the goal is to keep them as comfortable and as clean as possible. But I believe that probably even a week before, I mean, the soul knows before the body knows that death is
Well, I'll tell you an interesting... I sat with my friend 3 weeks before I landed up in hospital, and we were about to do some work, and we didn't know whether to take it on or not. And we were sitting at a mug and bean, and out of my mouth came the words, maybe we shouldn't do it. And he said, why not? I said, I don't know that I'm going to be here in 3 weeks. And I have no idea where that came from, but something in me knew. Something in me knew.
Your subconscious knows everything.
Isn't that crazy? That there's a timer in you or something to count down. That's crazy. All right, more comments. Mandy Wilson says, I cared for my dad this way. I was with him till he took his last breath. It was an absolute honor. Besides heartbreaking, it was a privilege. I have to be honest, Mona, what you do truly interests me. What a privilege and honor your line of work is. That's a nice compliment. Pauline Cameron is tagging people. You're welcome to tag. Douglas assist with doulas assist with birthing. Why can't there people who assist with dying, says Edmiston. Linda, that's right. Edward says, does everyone believe they're going to heaven if that exists? No, well, we know that. We already have established that Alistair's not on that team. So we've all got a corner here, and you can pick yours. Don't worry. That is excellent, Mona. You don't get involved with the individual spiritual beliefs. Corin Atwell says, hospice, sisters taking care of dying people, can be at home. What's the difference between you and hospice care?
Hospice care is very similar to being in hospital. It's just a different
environment, I suppose.
But sadly, hospice they are closing down all over. They're not getting the funding that they need to stay open.
Crazy.
So,
this breaks my heart.
It's horrible. On the West Rand, we had a hospice in Krugersdorp. It closed down.
Sure.
The nearest hospice for West Rand is in Sandton or Rivonia.
Wow.
No.
It's crazy.
It speaks to the state of our healthcare.
Yes.
No, it's hospice is so important. Like, I can't tell you how many times in my life hospice has helped me.
I've seen it in my own as well. Crazy, hey? Margaret Guider says, I find it difficult to accept the dust-to-dust philosophy. I'm very big into the departure of the soul. I've seen the soul spirits of family in my family a long time ago. Una says, I don't know which is worse, knowing you're dying slowly, being able to prepare and say goodbye, or going quick and having unfinished business. I think I would choose quick, but scared of having a restless soul. Maria de Silva says, my mom-in-law wanted to die at home. We were all there. We left the room, and when my son went back in, he said, Granny's gone. We were talking about that earlier. Just wait for that moment. So if that person can't handle the
a lot of
trauma,
people choose to die on their own.
Well, rather on your own.
Yeah, wait for the family to leave.
I would feel comfortable having a priest by my side, in my case Anglican, and I think you even organize stuff like that.
Yes, we would ask the family to organize a priest.
A lot of respect in what you do. I mean, you pay a lot of respect.
Yes.
Looks like. Let's see what is it. Leighton Preston is on board. How's it, Leighton? I'll be with you in just a moment. Crystal therapy definitely works. Says Una Patricia Holcomb says, my husband wanted to die at home. The doctor let him out of hospital. I was holding his hand when he passed away. He got his wish. Eh?
Yes.
Excellent idea, Tom, to have live interviews live in the studio. Makes the experience that much more exciting. It would be great to see more of them happening. Okay, we'll get more. My fear is leaving my kids behind, no matter what age they are. I'm sure you've seen that.
That is one of the biggest fears for a mother, to leave her children behind. But what I would say, I mean, going back again in my experience, my mom had lost 4 of her children before she died.
Wow. Yeah.
And,
Don't.
It's not supposed to be that way.
No.
You know, so if the children, I'm going to ask now, would you rather die and take your kids with you, or know that they have got a life to live and all the memories that you left them?
No, I know. 3 weeks before my mom passed away, she called me into the room and said, I don't know what's going to happen when your dad dies. And it was only 3 weeks before she was gone. So we just don't know, do we? My partner took his life. He was in deep depression, so heartsore. I'm so sorry, Mick. That's one of the hardest things to deal with. That's one of the hardest things to deal with. It really is.
And there's a lot of suicide that is taking place at the moment.
Really?
We are aware
It's
of
our economy. People haven't got money, no hope. Yeah. My mum passed away 2 months ago, 2 days before my daughter's wedding. She was so sick, but kept on holding on until all the grandchildren arrived from overseas. We spent the day with her, and she passed away 4 hours later. I believe she was happy to go because all her loved ones said goodbye to her. She was 93 years old. That's what I'm talking about. Can the dying person hear and see just before they die? Asks Soraya.
All right. Now, that is a very interesting question, because the last sense that the dying person loses is their hearing. So, in our understanding, for up to 10 minutes after the breathing has stopped, I believe that the spirit
so be careful what you
soul.
say for those 10.
Absolutely. You know, oh my God, they're gone. Now the person.
Where's the will?
No, the person has just died, and they don't even know that they've left their body, and you screaming.
Yeah.
You know, they've gone. It's
sure.
Terrible. Don't
okay, got it.
That.
Answered that question. Kirsty Buerta says, I have a fear of dying, but actually I think it's a fear of my loved ones I'm leaving behind. See, common theme. Margaret Guider says, I'm learning to come to terms with the fear of death. I would just like to come to grow as much spiritually to be ready to say goodbye. Are people ready? Or does the process you don't think so? Does the dying process force you to become ready?
I think it does. Because you remember I said earlier on the
acceptance somewhere along the line.
The soul is the eternal part.
What about people, and I've had friends, they've like fought to the bitter end, like right up until you think that they're gone, and like right at the 2 days before, they're still having a gin and tonic, and I'm going to beat this thing, and then 2 days later, they're gone.
Now, that is another thing we see quite often as well, is that close to death, the person will be more lucid, they will talk, they will respond, and then go back into that.
My grandfather saw people. I went to visit him in hospital 2 days before he passed. He told me that the old National Party government ministers were in his room. I have no idea, and he wanted me to fetch a torch. so that he could keep an eye on the old apartheid ministers. Which
I'm
is very
going
weird.
to bring a bit of humour into this now.
Why not?
There was
Yes.
my late mother-in-law's husband. He had lung cancer, something that he picked up from the mines and that. And when we went to visit him, he would say to the nurses, "Bring my friends a beer." He didn't realize that he was in hospital.
Sure.
And he loved his beer. So he would say,
man.
"Bring my friends a beer."
Nice. Mandy Wilson says, I believe there is a level of choice. My dad knew I had to be with him. I was terrified of going to the loo or the shower and he would pass. He died while I was hugging him. My mom-in-law didn't want her kids to see her at her worst. My husband and I were with her a few years ago. And my sister-in-law last week. Our experiences with her were all building happy memories. Mom-in-law declined after that visit within days and passed before we could get back on a plane. So I suppose different strokes for different folks, hey?
Everyone different.
Not trying to
There's a
sound...
different experience of it.
you wanted to ask a question, I think, Alistair, earlier.
It was more of a comment, Tom. My comment is more like every person has a different experience of the dying experience.
Yes.
For instance, my father passed away alone. There was nobody with him. He was in the clinic at the old age home where he lived. He sent the nurse to get a glass of water, and when she came back, he was gone.
Okay.
It happens.
My mother, conversely, lay in that same hospital for 2 weeks.
Holding on. Yeah.
Holding on, waiting for my dad to come and fetch her at some stage, she said.
There we go. And her
it's
son is ashes to
people-
ashes and dust to dust.
Yeah, people have different
Exactly.
views and different experiences of
Exactly.
death.
And as we said, there's no wrong or right.
There we go. Vanessa Schmidt said, my brother died suddenly. I wish he'd known he was going to die so he could make a better decision as to where he was going. Una Guida says, let's say someone dies quickly in an accident. Do you believe their sixth sense would still pick something up, that something may happen soon?
I don't know about that,
Good.
but I'm
Wow,
sure
that's a hard question.
I'm sure that the soul would know beforehand that death was going to take place. So and another thing that I believe, and I'd say it to my doulas, is nobody ever dies alone. If you, a Christian, the Muslim people also, I believe that they believe in angels and higher beings and
Yes,
whatever.
we do.
Well,
We absolutely do.
we have a Muslim on the show. There we go.
That's
We've got
me.
one Christian, one
That's
Muslim,
me.
one atheist. Yes.
So
We do believe we have two angels. Those
Yes.
angels guide us all the
Yes.
time.
yes.
Yeah, and we believe that you can. It's written actually in our book that you will hear the footsteps of
Oh, wow.
the grave.
So
Yeah.
that you will hear it coming.
Your
Okay.
hearing, it doesn't go. Your
Yeah.
hearing doesn't go
Yeah.
after you die. Not for a while, just like you said. That actually took me quite back, Mona, because that's actually written for us.
Yes.
And we believe that you once you're in the grave, you can still hear actually to that point. Scary.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's not possible. But
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
hearing
Got
is
it.
the last thing that leaves the sense, that leaves the body.
Mandy says, my aunt
Crazy.
is CEO of South Coast Hospice. They have lost their funding. It's heartbreaking. Hospice were
This is
amazing with us.
ridiculous.
I didn't even
Terrible.
know this. Did you even know that this is taking place? I had no idea.
Terrible.
But guys, like us as human beings who know that our parents are ill or we are ill or whatever, we should be making donations to these organizations because ultimately they're going to help us. Like, I don't understand why they're struggling with funding. Sorry, I get quite worked
It
up
is.
about hospice.
You know,
It's very important.
I actually wonder what is the cause. Okay, we know that it's lack of funding, but I also think it could be overstaffing. You know, that the money is
Maybe.
you're going to having extra staff.
Many
They could get
MPOs and
volunteers.
salaries. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, Mandy says, the comment regarding hearing has me in tears. I sent a voice note to my mom-in-law on Friday. It was played for her and she stirred. A few minutes later, she passed. We were told hearing is the last sense they lose. Wow.
That's brilliant.
What else have we got here? Sure, many comments today. I believe in reincarnations, says Sylvia, but not always in the same world. There's a long comment there. We're going to read a bit later.
Yes.
I believe your family meet you. That was my experience. I just right in front. I never thought I'd be one of these people that says this,
Yeah.
but that's what I saw, and I can't change what I saw. My father was found dead in his room by suicide as a result of PTSD of the Second World War. Often wonder what happens with the soul in the name of suicide. Good question. So
I don't think that there is
a difference.
A difference.
Yeah.
No. You know, people say that if you commit suicide, that you're condemned to whatever. I think that suicide is just another way of dying.
Yeah.
And personally, I have tried suicide 4 times.
Well, you haven't been successful, have you?
No, and other people do it once and they do it right.
You got a D.
But I thank God that I didn't die, because otherwise I wouldn't be here today.
Me too.
So I know. Suicide is just another choice of death.
Okay, right. Mandy says not overstaffing. A lot of retired doctors, nurses. You know what I think it is? It seems like the money going into the wrong places in this country. You know, just the normal old story of like lots of 40,000 Rand pencils being sold to schools, but not enough money to take care of the dying.
Yeah.
You know. Wow. So tell us about this course of yours. Sacreddying.co is where people can find out more. What do you teach people?
I teach people how to work with the dying, period. So,
and how long is the course, and do I have to come in, or is it online?
No, it's all online. We have got 2 WhatsApp groups. So we've got our students that are all on WhatsApp, and we've got our certified doulas on another group. So you've always got backup. You've always got people.
So people can go along there. Is this something you charge for? You charge people for this?
I do, but I also give a lot of courses away. If somebody phones me and they say that they can't afford it and they would like to do it, I don't.
And do death doulas charge for their services?
There is options.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
Or if you can,
the services of a death doula is not just to sit there with the dying person.
There are practical things involved.
Yes.
Okay.
So say, for example, now the caregiver, she hasn't slept for the last 2 nights because her husband has been waking her up. So we can go to her and we can say to her, I'm coming in tomorrow for 2 or 3 hours, and I want you to go and have a sleep. So there's so many different things that a death doula works with.
Got it. Maybe you need your Uber fare paid and a lunch and a little bit of snack money in your pocket. Okay, got it. Love you guys. Don't leave me yet. We're not going anywhere, Anita. You just be happy.
No, we're not going anywhere.
So we've hit the end of the hour. I think we'll just run through any final questions that we may have. We'll start with Alistair. Alistair?
I'm good.
You're good. Tanya?
Well, I wanted to say that you're a wonderful person, Minnaar. You really are. And I'm very glad you had a good Mo and a Tom so that we could meet you today. No, I'm serious. I think what you do is very admirable. May God bless you, and may your good work stand you in good stead in the hereafter. Thanks.
And may God bless the people who've hit the like, heart, ha, sad, wow, and angry button. May they be blessed. And the ones that haven't, may they not be blessed. So if you want to be, if you want to be blessed, press the button now. Okay, I'm just joking.
Oh my God, astaghfirullah.
Okay, I'll take it all back. I'm sorry, I'll take it all back.
Eat your words.
I ate my words. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you for the show today, says Mick Didricks. Thank you, Mick, for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed it. I even thought we must do a different kind of, call it something different, but then Mona said to me, no. Everybody's going to go through this in their life, including the people who watch the Tom London show. So I thought, well, let me give you the bad news.
One thing that's guaranteed.
That's right.
Guys.
So we decided to do it on the Tom London show, and I'm so glad we did. Mona, it's been fantastic having you with us, and I hope this is not the last time. Before we started, you said you're going to give a course away. You'll give a free course away.
I have already decided you're going to have to go back in the messages.
And so what I want to do is say to you, to choose the person, the messages, who you think could benefit from the course, and you'll tell me, and then on Thursday we'll announce.
Awesome.
Okay? Got it.
That's fabulous.
Right. Anything you want to say that I may have missed out?
Tom, I don't think so. This conversation, we can talk for 10 days.
I'm sure.
You know,
I wanted to ask you what the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen is.
The most unbelievable.
That's the one question I haven't asked.
Nothing has shocked me that it's been unbelievable.
Wow.
And
what an answer.
You know, I remember when we were growing up in Durban and all the big blocks of flats and whatever.
Oh, you and Alistair, hey? He also grew up in Durban. Do you remember Louis Botha Airport? Because he does.
Yes, yes. But I want to tell you now that we would come home from school and you would see the forensic pathology van and a body that was covered with the blanket.
Yes.
People used to come and jump off the high buildings to commit suicide. So it's unbelievable. And I saw that and it was like, what's happened?
Wow, you're very comfortable with this. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Well, before we say goodbye, I introduced you to Michael at Suzuki Kailami. And the ladies, Mona, love a salesperson called Liam. I don't know what it is, but they love Liam. And I even get people saying, please, can you make another video with Liam? So this is because people asked me, another video with Liam, please. Here's Liam with he's going to showcase the Suzuki Swift.
Hi, I'm Liam Winter, your Suzuki sales specialist, and I have the privilege to showcase the South African budget car of the year for 2025, our beautiful Suzuki Swift. The Suzuki Swift caters for your budget and your taste with 3 spec levels, manual and CVT transmission, as well as 7 single-tone colors and 3 dual-tone colors. So it's not only the exterior, it's the interior as well, ergonomically formed for your comfort and style. We have a fully digital air conditioning system, a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system that connects seamlessly with your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. With a multifunction steering wheel, you'll never have to take your eyes off the road as you are enjoying your ride. And that's not all. The Suzuki Swift comes standard with 6 airbags, a 4-year or 60,000 kilometer service plan, and a 5-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty with roadside assistance for your peace of mind. We've got the stock, we've got the range, and we've got the colors. So don't delay, inquire today and find out why Suzuki Kailami and Suzuki Euravonia are the home of happy customers.
Yeah. And thank you very much to the guys and girls at Suzuki Kailami for sponsoring the show. It means that we can keep doing the good work we do, keep looking for youngsters that need help and keep pushing. It's thanks to them and their generosity that we're able to do it. That's it for today.
Tell them that Tom sent you.
Yeah, if you go there and buy a car, please tell them that Tom sent you. Please, I beg. Okay, here I will beg. Please, I'm begging you, if you buy a car from him, don't forget to tell them Tom sent you. One day, I'm going to get a Suzuki Jimny. Yellow one. Thank you. Wow, such a nice show today. I enjoyed it. And thank you for pressing the buttons. Thank you for liking the show. Thank you for joining us on a Tuesday afternoon. We'll be back with you again on Thursday, 3 p.m. We are getting close now. We're a week away from Jenna Lee flying into Johannesburg. We'll be meeting her at OR Tambo. I'll be taking them through to the hotel. She's got an appointment on the 10th. She gets operated on the 17th, I think it is, 15th or 17th. And we're going to take you on the entire journey. It's going to be a Tom London Show special, Jenna Lee's Journey with Tom London and friends. Every day we're going to be posting. So every day you're going to get an update from the moment Jenna Lee's feet touch the Johannesburg soil at Kempton Park International to the moment she's on her way back home. Or at least we say, all right, we can leave you now, Borky. You're going to be with me, and I'm going to be with you. We're going to take you on this ride, and you're going to come on Jenna Lee's Journey with us. With so many good people like Southern Sun Hotels who have sponsored the stay. There's an anonymous donor who put in a lot of money to pay for the hospital care. Operation Healing Hands. And by the way, the Jacaranda Breakfast Show tomorrow morning with Martin Bester will be carrying the Jenna Lee story. They'll be starting the show off with the Jenna Lee story tomorrow. So make sure you're listening to Martin Bester in the mornings. The Breakfast Show will be doing Jenna Lee tomorrow. So you'll be coming with us and along for the ride. I think Tanya's battery went. That's it. She did tell me she was on 5%. And that's the end of her. But Alistair's still here. So Tanya gets
brutally shut down.
She got a brutal shutdown. And you get a polite shutdown. So
call fail.
Yeah, no, it's all going south. All right, Alistair, you have a wonderful afternoon. Stay warm. We'll catch you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
And Mona, thank you so much for coming through to my place. Did you enjoy? I hope you did.
I loved every minute.
Thank you, me too.
And you're not getting rid of me that quickly. I'm only getting my Uber in.
No, we're still going to have some water and some health food or something. We're going to do some.
Next time I'm coming with a bottle of red wine.
All right, cool. We'll do healthy together. Well, that's it from me. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do appreciate you pressing the play button. In fact, it means the world to me. Two of my favorite moments in the week are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. when I can join you. And through this magic medium that we call the internet and our phones and our tablets and our TVs and whatever we watch this show on or listen to it on, we've got the magic of coming together. And today on a topic that, well, it's unavoidable. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. We're bringing you more guests in the future on The Tom London Show. The Tom London Show was brought to you by Suzuki.